Hello and welcome to the first video of this camper van conversion on my Caddy Maxi. The intention is to turn it into a little micro camper. As you can see, it used to be a painter's van. So I'm going to strip all that out and clean it up. Okay, first job on the van is to get rid of all of this glue that was left over from the previous sign writing. So there's quite a bit of it on each panel. I've just started doing this section here, so that's good. I've got a can of alcohol stuff to get rid of it. There's a bit of stuff on the bonnet from signage, which I think is, to be honest, the paint, but there's quite a lot on there to get rid of. So yes, au revoir. Well, glue, I suppose it is. So yeah, let's get cracking. So I did a little bit of research on the internet to see what sort of products I could use to try and get rid of this glue on the side of the van, and it came back with quite a number of different things that you can use, but the most popular one was probably WD-40. So here I am using a can of WD-40 and a microfiber cloth, spraying it onto the different sections of the van and rubbing away the glue. I did come up against a few slightly tougher areas, and again, after a little bit of research, I started to use a little bit of acetone. I also did try a bit of the Tesco's nail polish remover, obviously in little tiny sections first, just to make sure it didn't mark any of the paintwork, which it didn't. So yeah, that's what I used, and as you can see, it does seem to have come off quite well. So the next part of the strip out process was to remove all of the ply from the inside of the van and see what lied underneath. Here I am again, just using a little screwdriver to take out the nuts and bolts that hold those sections on. I've also got these metal window glass protectors that I wanted to take off so that when I give it a good clean, I can get in there and clean it. Next up was to take the floor out of the van, and as you can see, I've already taken the side panels out as well, the old ply that was in there. Got rid of all of the floor in the end, and surprisingly it actually looked quite good in there. I had a couple of screws, but managed to get those out in the end, so fingers crossed I can give it a really nice good clean and it will look so much better and fresh. Got half the floor out, got all the panels off the sides. So next job, get the rest of the floor and then I can start cleaning. I'm pretty sure it's going to look a lot better once I clean it. So with the rest of the floor coming out, I could then see what lied underneath the floor that was in there, and to be honest with you, I was very happy with what I saw. There was a lot of dust, a lot of dirt, a lot of old building and plastering materials in there, painting materials and things, but with a dustpan and brush, just scooping it up bit by bit, I managed to get most of it out. Okay, here we go. So I'm halfway there. Just got the dustpan and brush out and try to brush everything off I can get off of the floor. I've got 4 screws that still didn't come out there, and I think there's a couple down here and in amongst all the stuff that I've got out so far, but I'll be able to either grind them off and sort them out at some point. There's a couple of holes where some of the screws were in the bottom of the floor, so I'm gonna have to fill those and protect the paint and protect the metal. But yeah, pretty happy, to be honest, with the way it looks inside at the moment. Give it a good clean, and yeah, I think it's going to look 1,000,000% better, and then I can start to do some soundproofing, some insulating, and then eventually I'm going to try and carpet the walls. The ceiling looks like it's pretty good as well, so I might be able to use that. to put my lights in, so I want to put a couple of lights in here. But yeah, I'll get all of this last sort of bits out, and then start giving it a good old wash inside. There we go. So I finished up the hoovering and ended up with this. Very happy, and on to the next stage, which was removing the bulkhead. Here I am trying to remove the bulkhead. Now, I did actually make a bit of an error here. I managed to unzip all of the screws that held it in, but I thought I'd try and be clever and take it out in one go. And as you will see, that is not really possible. You probably would have been able to pull it out from behind, but I did have something in the van that I was just being lazy and didn't remove. So in the end, what I had to do was obviously separate it into two sections so that it would come out. But it all came out nicely, and then obviously left the van without the bulkhead in it, again ready to get in there and clean. After that, I started to remove the final pieces of the boarding that was over the doors and the other panels in the van to reveal the cavities where I'm going to be putting the insulation. So the next part was to remove the screws that held on the rear section of the van, and as you can see, some of them were a bit rusty, but managed to get them all out, and I'm going to give those a clean and obviously replace those as well. So I've removed these bolts, and they're really rusty, but they did come out. Now I've just started removing these little caps. Another one there, don't have any more, and then I can get this off and give it a good old clean out. There's actually in here somewhere, I just saw, there it is, wood louse in the van. Lovely. How long have you been in there, mate? And there's another one. Don't know, some sort of slug. There's another one in there. They're living in the van. Come on out. No more. Okay, so here we go. I filled up the bucket with a bit of car shampoo. So I'm going to get into the back of the van and start to take everything out. This rubber mat it actually came with the van, and they are actually a Volkswagen bespoke cut out part. So I'm going to keep that because I might even use that to go over the new floor that I put inside the van in the end. Here I am washing out the inside of the van. Now, as you can see, there's quite a lot of dust and dirt still there, but I did manage to get it all out, and I think you'll agree that it's starting to look a lot better and a lot cleaner now. To make it easier to get the last bits of stuff out the bottom of the van, I did remove the back seal, just so I could help brush it all out and onto the floor. Next up was to start removing the roof. Again, with the drill and the little attachment that I used to get the plugs out, I started removing it piece by piece. This section had the interior light in it, which I did actually forget to disconnect. However, it did come out, and then I cable tied it up to the top of the roof so that it was out of the way. The next part of the roof came out quite easily, and there we go. Van's without its roof. Okay, are you ready? I've completely cleaned out the inside of the van now to a point where all I've got to do is touch up the paintwork. I've got to get rid of some old paint and the mastic and stuff that was stuck on the bottom and side arches of the van. And then obviously I can hammerite smooth white paint and protect that metal. But other than that, I've cleaned it out. Here we go. There we go. So the floor is now completely cleaned. I've got the roof out, and everything is ready for the next stage. Happy days. Well, if you made it to the end, thanks for sticking along. This is the first part of the van conversion build, so There's going to be more videos coming of a similar sort of format. I'm not a video editor, I'm not trying to be a YouTuber, I just want to try and document what I'm doing to my van. So if you've enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel so that you can see the next load of videos that come out, and I look forward to seeing you soon. If you've also got any comments or things that you would think would look good in the van, then please put them down in the comment section, and let me know if there's any other things I should have done or that I should be looking to do, because I've never done this before. All I've done is watch other people do these sort of videos on YouTube and thought, you know what, how hard can it be, I'll give it a go. So that's all I'm doing, but thanks again, so see you next time.